Today we're going to talk a little bit about privacy tones on GMRS radios and why you can't talk from a GMRS radio to a GMRS radio even though they're both brand new and ready to go. This is one of those Amazon returns that I do. If you are interested in picking up one of these radios from me, I will leave a link in the description down below where you can get more information on some discount returned but perfectly working radios. Let's get over to the workbench, figure out what the problem is, and talk about these PL tones. I really think returns are a good way of doing customer service. This is an RA86, and maybe for some reason it didn't live up to the customer's expectations of what they were expecting, and they wanted to return it. Maybe they opened it up and said, there's no front panel controls on this radio. It must go back. And I think, honestly, in today's world where you can't walk into a store and touch things, and I realize that you can tell that the front panel controls were missing from a picture online. Work with me here. When you can't walk in and touch things and put hands on things and use things and see how things work, that is the way things are. Like, I buy clothing. I can see what it looks like in the photo, but I can't tell if the fit is appropriate. And in a store, you'd go into the fitting room, and then you'd find out if it fit or not, and then you'd hand it back to them, and no money would exchange hands, and nobody would be upset or anything, and here we are. We have a programming cable. This has got that fat USB chip end on it, so it's USB in here, and then there is a serial to USB converter chip inside of this blob, and then it goes to a tip ring sleeve. So that's kind of an interesting programming setup. We've got the owner's manual. We've got the radio itself, and this is a GMRS radio. So one of the things that might have happened, oh, there's an interesting power cord. One of the things that might have happened with this is all GMRS radios have an inherent problem where, for some reason, I kind of understand it, I kind of don't like it, but I get it. Manufacturer A, Retevis, programs in PL tones on their radio, and manufacturer B, let's say Oshan, programs in PL tones on their radio, and they don't match. So channel 10 on this radio and channel 10 on that radio do not actually talk to each other. Out of the box, that's not a good out-of-the-box experience. It is fixable, but a lot of people don't know that it's fixable. We got the radio, we got the mic. All you need to do is set the PL tones to match or just remove the PL tones. They don't really create privacy, they create more exclusivity. Oh, that's a pretty cool little deal. That's a little mobile antenna, and it's only that tall, but it's GMRS, so it's the right height. Cigarette lighter power port, cool. Microphone holder, unopened. These are metal. Ah, this is magnetic. No, I don't know what these are for. We'll have to investigate, because they gave me four round metal discs. So I don't know what those are for. And a mounting bracket. Well, the antenna hasn't been opened. The programming cable hasn't been opened. The power cord doesn't look like it's been opened and reused, kind of thing. I think somebody just got this and then, for whatever reason, didn't like it. Maybe it's the RJ45 microphone plug. Let's see if the owner's manual says what those round discs are. Card charger with fuse holder, radio base, hand mic and speaker, screw packs, antenna, mounting bracket, microphone bracket, user manual. They do show the little pads that go between the mounting ears, but that is not what those are. Those little pads are in this bag where they belong. I think somebody might have just done a bonus return, because the microphone's not magnetic. Those are metallic pads, but I don't really know if they'll be magnetic or not. Let's see. Factory frequency chart, channel 1 through 12, and there are tones on channel 1 through 12. So that's exactly what I was talking about. That's probably why this got returned, is those tones don't line up. And then for 15 through 22, the repeater programming, where there typically are tones, but the manufacturer would have no way of knowing what they are, those are blank. What kind of power is this supposed to put out? Before you use the radio, it says it right here. If you don't want CTCSS DCS in the factory setting, you can cancel the default setting by doing the following. Be sure it's turned off. Press and hold the PTT and the scan button simultaneously. While the button is held, turn the radio on. All default settings will be cleared. If I don't know what CTCSS tones are in the first place, and I don't know that's why I can't talk to my other radio, I'm not going to look at that and go, oh, this thing that makes no sense to me, that must be the reason why. And they try and make it easy. The frequency of GMRS is a shared frequency, and the possibility of interference is relatively high. So the RA86 factory frequency setting is with CTCSS DCS. Great. 15 channels, 8 repeater channels, 7 receive-only channels. That's another thing that gets people, is for some reason they put receive-only channels in here, and you can't even program them, in some cases, to be transmittable channels. They just They just are. 10 NOAA weather channels, 260 privacy codes, monitor function, mic gain, Vox, squelch, keypad lock, brightness, bandwidth settings, high-low power, automatic power on function, external speaker jack. Here we go. Transmitter, 20 watts. Okay, so now we know what to test for. So I got to get this thing powered up. Okay, so in order to power this thing up, I have the Dabson 600 portable power station, and this has a built-in cigarette lighter plug socket connection set up there. And I've got the radio up here. Let's get her plugged in. All right, and then lastly up on top, I have a Shorecom SW102 power meter. And that's going to help me determine whether this thing actually can transmit a powerful signal or if we're dealing with some weak sauce here. Power station is on and fully charged. Let's turn on the DC power. We've got DC power turned on. The radio has sprung to life. Does the on-off switch work? Hey, the on-off switch works. Long press to get it to come on. And we're looking at 3 watts of standby power. And we are showing high power on the mic. It's supposed to be a 20-watt radio. And my power meter is showing 13.7 watts out, 1-to-1 SWR. Okay, perfect. Radios are never going to put out 100% of what they're advertised. It's either going to be a little bit extra or a little bit less. 14 watts out on a 20-watt radio is pretty low. I mean, I would expect like 17, 18 and consider that to be okay. But, you know, it is where we are. This thing is randomly transmitting. Why are we randomly transmitting? Because it's in Vox mode. Vox mode. Okay, yeah, so 20 watts on the swing. All right, we got to take this thing out of Vox mode. All right, so all of the controls in this thing are in the menu. It's transmitting. Menu. Power level high, low. Band is wide. TX code is off. The screen on this is fantastic. I don't know how well it's coming across on camera, but it is beautiful in person. Squelch on 5, scan memory, mic gain, repeater on, call tone 1, key tone, Roger beep, Vox. Off. Timeout timer, backlight, brightness, speaker select dual. So it's got a speaker mic here, and then there's a speaker in the base of the radio sitting over there. All right, we have timed out on the menu, and we are in repeater mode. And channel 16 on high power. Let's look at the power setting again. All right, testing in PTT mode, 13.9 watts, 13.9 watts. And you can see it in the upper corner there. It says 13.8 now because it's a peak hold meter, and that was the best that it saw. So I'm going to switch it over to low power, testing low power, 4 watts, testing low power, 4 watts. All right, so low power has worked. I don't have any radio that I'm listening to this thing on. Let's turn on another radio. I've got the Radioddity GM30 Pro here. So we'll turn that on. Do I have enough battery charge? So this one here, right on the screen of the mic, tells you that it's got a CTCSS tone. So that's a good indication that there's a CTCSS tone in play. Channel 1, 462, 560, 25. Yes, I said that weird. Simplex frequency and a code of 67. So if this is set up properly, that radio will not receive this signal. Testing, 1, 2, 3. It has received the signal. There's a tone, so I see that the signal came in, but I don't see any signal going out. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Yep. And so this radio doesn't have any tone. I can transmit on this radio and receive on this radio. That's intended. But when I transmit on this radio, this one will not receive it on purpose. So now let me add a tone to this radio here. TX CTCSS of 67. And now we should hear something. Testing, 1, 2, 3. And I did get a signal back this time, but I don't have a whole lot of volume. Volume was set down. So volume of 9. Testing. Ooh, we got some feedback on that thing. Let me get across the room and we'll try it again.
WRNY 996, testing 1, 2, 3, testing 1, 2, 3. WRNY 996, testing 1, 2, 3, testing 1, 2, 3.
So it looks like the transmit and receive tested out just fine between the GM30 Pro and the Retevis radio that we're doing our testing on. So that means that the PL tones are in fact working. It did not receive the signal when it was not opening it with the proper PL tone, and it did receive the signal when it was opening it with the proper PL tone. Seems like that's a good test pass scenario there. I'm going to try programming this radio next and see what we can do with that. All right, so we're on the Windows side of things, and this serial port first came up when I plugged it in as unidentified, and then Windows finally figured it out. It shows up here in Device Manager as COM9. The programming software itself is a portable executable format. So it's telling me to check the COM port when I do a read from radio. Let's do it again now that the serial port exists. Read. and we're reading right down here. Nice. That's the default programming that was inside. Read complete. Okay. Radio chirped, she's happy. And channel 1, PL tone of 67. I'm going to change that to a PL tone of 69.3. And I'll change the transmit to 69.3. And we will write it to the radio, and we'll see if we can see that on the other side. And we're writing. And write is complete. The radio has chirped that it's happy. And speaking of chirp, let me see if I can find this on Chirp's website. All right, if you see an ad like this, it's actually an ad to download. It has nothing to do with Chirp software. I'm not even on the page to download the Chirp software, and the ad is taking up most of the screen. But I did a search for RA89, and I found one. But because the ad is taking up most of the screen, I can't tell. I gotta still scroll. There it is. Retevis RA89 in the Retevis group. So she's supported by Chirp too. All right, so we reprogrammed channel 1 with the second tone. It says CTC-02. If we go into the menu, CTC-02. So now we need to look in the user's manual and see what the code table tells us. CTC-02 is 69.3, so programming was successful. So I don't see anything wrong with this radio. That's probably what the problem was, the CTC-SS tones. Privacy tones don't do what you think they do. They do create a little bit of privacy, but it's more along the lines of, I don't want to hear what you have to say, not I don't want you to hear what I have to say. And the way I'm bringing that up is, if I'm on channel 7 and there's lots and lots and lots of local talk on channel 7, what I can do is I can set a tone so that if there is lots of local talk, I can't hear them. But I can't set a tone that they can't hear me. If there's no tone on their radio, it will receive all traffic and it will not exclude any traffic, and everything will be happy for them. For you, you might think that you're transmitting privately. There's no such thing as privacy in GMRS. You might be thinking that you're transmitting privately, and they're hearing every single word you have to say because they don't have an exclusion tone set on their radio to exclude everything that isn't their group. So privacy tones make it so I can't hear you. They don't make it so you can't hear me, is the easy way to put that. And like I said, just about every GMRS radio out there has a set of default privacy tones that doesn't match any other radio manufacturer's set of default privacy tones. So that could be one of two reasons why this radio was returned. Otherwise, it's working perfectly, and only one of those is a reason why you might want to return it. But if you compare this radio to other radios, you might run into the same problem. Let me try this again with the antenna that it was shipped with and see if we get more power out with that antenna, because sometimes that's a thing also. So this here is a ground plane to make up for the fact that I'm missing the other half of the antenna, the car that this would be set on. This is a magnetic mount antenna, and that is all of it. And then we have the radio and the meter set up like we did before. I'm taking a look in the programming software here. All these things in blue I'm not able to change, and on channel 1 where we were, I can't change the power. I can change and did change bandwidth and privacy tones. We can set those back now, but I can't drop down and change the frequency at all. I can't type and change the frequency. I can't drop down and change the power. I can't type and change the power. But I come down here to channel 15. Channel 15, I can't change the frequency, but I can change the power. So channel 15 is set to high power, and then there's repeater 15, and then I have programmed channels down here that I can do whatever I want to do to. So I'm going to go to one of the repeater channels, channel 15, and check the power output. 15, it's set to high power with tone 19 in the lookup table, and 14.6 with the antenna attached. So it's a 15-ish watt radio. That's what the limitation is on this thing. A better antenna will get you some more gain, some more power out, but as advertised and as priced, kind of is what it is. So valid reason to return the radio. It doesn't put out the power that it was specified to put out. I can understand if I bought a 20-watt radio and I was expecting a 20-watt radio and I got a 15-watt radio, I probably wouldn't be all that happy with it myself. But this is a quantity of one, so I don't know if it's all of these. I'm not making excuses, but I don't know if it's all of these radios that are at this power level. And maybe the price is justifiable, that it's okay to accept 5 watts lower than advertised spec. Not the first time I've seen this. Is that a deal breaker for you? Probably a deal breaker for me. So some features I do like about this radio are that it has the built-in speaker, it has the speaker in the microphone. The microphone looks like it's all finished when you put the RJ45 in. It's got a little rubber booty that goes on there that holds it up. Power connector's a little weird. The programming cable interface is a little weird, but this is more of a consumer grade, not a power user type radio. It does the thing, 15 watts out on high power, 4 watts out on 13 to 14 and a half watts out on high power. 3 to 4.5 watts out on a low power. I kind of like how sharp that microphone looked. Kind of a budget entry level, no frills radio. But aside from that, I also got you some information on why your radio might not talk to other radios. So hopefully that will help you out if you have come across a GMRS radio that you didn't like because you didn't think it transmitted and you've returned it back to Amazon. Again, there will be a link for this radio in the description down below if someone hasn't bought it before you get to it. Otherwise, the list changes all the time with all the other radios that I get in and out on the channel for repair, review, etc., etc. And if GMRS isn't your thing, I do ham radio and PCs and technology and software and all kinds of other fun, interesting stuff on this channel. So make sure you're subscribed by hitting the subscribe button right down below. And there's a video right over here I think you might enjoy next. Thanks for being awesome. I'll see you over there.